What's up, you party people? Thank you so much for coming to the mic on a Thursday night and not pictures!
Welcome to UD's variety show called The Mic. We really appreciate everyone saving their $8 and their Pedialyte in their fridge for tomorrow for this. Unless you're like Lauren and your water bottle is filled with vodka right now.
Sorry, guys, I'm guilty. If you get the joke, I love you. All right, my name's Lauren Kapp, and I'm the host of the Bi-Weekly Show. If you watch, you know, yeah. Thank you.
And my name is Emmy Merkert. I used to be an EP, and I now take Lexapro.
Oh my God, congrats! You know, you're also a senior, Emmy. How's graduation? You know, like that whole future thing.
We have a great show for you guys tonight, so I'm just really excited. We're going to be doing 4 stand-up shows, and starting off right now we have, oh, sorry, I messed up a little bit. We'll be starting off with stand-up and finishing off with some duets from Sibling Duo, something that my family and I used to do, but way more angrily.
It's okay, I'm an only child. Our first act tonight is Meg Rossler, EP of 49 News and professional burper. Give it up for Meg!
I'm just gonna move this out of the way really quick because I'm gonna get real active, so I don't want to like trip and hurt myself. But thank you everyone for your kind welcome. Seriously, this is my first time doing this. So even if you think I'm like the butt ugliest, most least funny person ever, please laugh at my jokes to make me feel a little bit okay. Okay, that was like a B-. That was a test. So please, let's get a little bit better as this goes on. I would really appreciate it. So one more test? Yeah. Okay, there we go. See, that's more like it, but just a little toned down if you don't mind. So, you know, growing up, I grew up in a really German, Irish, Catholic family. Do I have anyone here, any of those things at all? All right, cool. Love to hear it. So specifically on like the Irish side of my family, we get a lot of things passed around, passed down, some lore, some things. I know the first thing that probably you're thinking of is alcoholism. We do have that, believe me, but that's really not what I'm gonna be talking about with you today. I'm gonna be talking about something a little bit different, this lore behind this thing called Murphy's Law. So if you've never heard of what Murphy's Law is, it's basically the idea that whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And believe me, I'm a positive person. I have a lot of great things happen to me in life. I'm very grateful, but I have this theory that like when God, or I guess Murphy in this situation, sees something like bad happening to me, he likes to like grab me by the throat and like curb stomp me and say like, fuck you, bitch, don't get up. Like, he likes to really torture me. So I'm convinced that like Murphy's Law has really just been passed down in my traits. So I'm gonna take you guys through a little story of one of the many times that Murphy's Law has really just like had a chokehold on my life. So to preface, let's start off. The bar is low. Summer going into 8th grade. I'm talking 13, chubby, bangs, braces, really bad haircut, like all of the bad combination of things. So we start off really low. So that summer, I asked my mom to take me and my best friends to a concert on Good Morning America to see 5 Seconds of Summer, one of my favorite bands, yes, any 5-star stands. She said yes. I honestly don't know why. I would never do that for a 13-year-old now in my age. But she ever so graciously did. We got there at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't sleep the night before. I was so freaking excited. And we got there. Concert happened, and you know, if you've never been to something like a Good Morning America concert in like the August heat with people camping out for days, when the artist gets up on stage and they're like, everyone put your hands up, and then like the whole crowd is like teenage and prepubescent girls where half of them haven't learned how to wear deodorant yet, like the putrid stench that just came from that crowd was like absolutely absurd. Like I was just like losing it. But that's really just a preface to the state of my body that I was in for this story that I'm actually gonna tell you. So take all of that into consideration. So we get home from camping, not camping, that's where this is going. We get home from the concert and my mom tells me to pack a bag. And I was like, my original reaction was, they saw me in the crowd, like I'm packing a bag to join them on tour. Like they finally, like my fan fiction moment was in the works. And then I was humbled by realizing I really just forgot about my family's camping trip that was this weekend. So I followed my mom's orders, packed my bag, you know. We hiked all the way up to upstate New York, got there, and everyone on camping trips is like really bitchy in the beginning if you've never been, because you're just like hauling shit out of a truck and like pitching a tent for 2 hours and everyone hates each other. So we went to bed really early that night, to be ready for our 13-mile canoe trip the next day. Woo! Yeah. So I woke up that next morning with a thick, juicy layer of sweat all over my body. And not like the sweat, like, oh, I just slept in a tent overnight in like 90-degree heat. I'm talking like something's wrong. Like my body was like crying. So I wake up and I look down and I see this spider bite on the inside of my thigh. Now, if you've never been bitten by a spider before, I'll describe it a little bit of what it looks like to you. So it's like this big, the actual bite. And then it's just the ring of fiery pain and like explosion and swelling that like eats up the whole side of your leg that really just like sets it over the edge. So you can literally put your hand over it and feel the heat radiating off of it. So that's really awesome. But I couldn't not go on the canoe trip because I was not an adult and couldn't say no. So we hop onto our canoe. We're heading out. I'm with my dad. My mom's with my sister. A couple miles down the river, I start feeling a little woozy. Like vision, I'm talking vision blurring, like hearing just like not happening anymore. And I will preface this by saying fainting does run in my family. Not like medically diagnosed because, yeah, I know. You don't want to clap because it's not medically diagnosed. Like we were broke and like had no money, so we never got it actually checked out. But it does run in my family. However, we do not refer to it as fainting. We call it clunking because I will tell you, my mom's family, when they would go to church in the heat, like 90 degrees in the summer, and they would like pass out, their heads would hit the pew and it would be like a clunk sound. So we call it clunking. So if I say anything forward, it will be referred to as clunking. It's like so casual to the point where like my sister clunked one time in her middle school hallways, and it was like, lockdown, shelter in place, fainted child in the hallways. My aunt walked in and was like, oh, sweetie, you clunked. And my sister was like, I clunked. And then they just walked out of school. Like the whole school was in an uproar. But at this point that I was on the canoe, I had not experienced what happens before you clunk. So the next thing I remember, I'm falling over in the Delaware River, dragging a canoe to the side. And then the next thing I remember, my head is on a rock. And I see both of my parents standing on top of me like this. And I was like, what happened? And my mom goes, sweetie, you clunked. I was like, this is what it is? I was like, it's traumatizing. Like, why is this the means of like how we have to do this? But I guess it's a rite of passage in the family. I don't know. So we continue. They feed me a club soda because apparently that cures all. I don't know. So we head down a little bit more down the river, and like you'd be thinking like, oh, why don't you just like turn around, like you're ill. Like when you're on a trip like this, like 5 miles deep in like the river in the woods, unless you're actually dying and need to be airlifted, like you really can't just turn around. Like you just gotta like stick it through. So we go down a little bit more, and me and my sister decide it's getting a little hot, so we're gonna hop in the water and go for some swims, because you can like swim next to your canoe, like it's really fun. So we're swimming, having a great time. And we take this corner, like, while we're swimming, and we see, like, a bunch of, like, water rapids approaching. So we're like, okay, guess it's time to hop back in the canoe. Usually, it's, like, a really easy thing to do. My sister has always been more athletic than I am, so her little, like, prime proper ass just, like, hopped right in. And I was like, all right, time for me to get back in. My center of gravity and just, like, everything bestowed upon me could not get my chunky 13-year-old body like back in this canoe to the point where I was straddling both canoes that we were using with my arms and legs, laying there, literally closing my eyes. Like I was like, Dad, help me, Dad. I don't know what to do. I was accepting my fate. Like I thought I was gonna drown, hit my head on a rock, and like literally die. But I don't know how. My dad hoisted me over. I got back in. Now I was like, you know what? Maybe the rest of this will be like okay. Like I'm really trying to see through everything. So after you clunk or faint, if you've never done that before, your body does a little bit of like a factory reset. And a factory reset, I would say, comes with something like tummy troubles. So when I say tummy troubles, I really don't mean like, ooh, burp, or like a little throw up. I mean like out the back door tummy troubles. Like I'm talking like intense. So it's actually funny. We have this code word in my family for when you have to poop, but like it's not an appropriate situation to be like, I have to poop. We call it knocking, like it's knocking at the door. So I turned around to my dad on the canoe and I was like, Dad, it's knocking. And he was like, Jesus, Meg, like, we only have a couple miles left. I swear, like, just finish it out. And I was like, okay, like, I can do this. I can do this. A couple more minutes later, the knocking turned into, like, busting down the door. Like, my cheeks were clenched so hard. You could have, like, held, like, 5 credit cards down my crack. Like, I was like, I cannot do this for another second. So I was like, Dad, we really got to do it. He was like, Jesus Christ, oh my God. Now making him stop for the second time. So we're pulling over the boat. And of course, where we pull it over, it's a cliff. It's like a straight up 90-degree angle. I was like, well, where am I supposed to go? Like, because keep in mind at the time, 13 years old, riddled with insecurities of my body and like already mortified from everything that's been happening today. So the idea of just like taking a shit in front of families passing on like their little river raft boats, like splashing, having a great time, really didn't seem like the best idea. He was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're not gonna shit here, you might as well just go in the river. So, so there I am, wading waist deep in the Delaware River, forcing my family to turn in the opposite direction because I was so incredibly embarrassed. And I was waiting for like my perfect moment to, you know, do my business because there were like legit families passing by on boats. So I was like peering out to see if the coast was clear. And you know, like when you have tummy troubles, what comes out isn't always a sinker, if you know what I mean. So I waited, I found my moment, I found my time, and that shit, I mean literally that shit, floated up in a little puddle and made its little journey all the way down the Delaware River, right to where there were families camping on the riverbanks. So I immediately, I came back up and I was like, we gotta go. I was like, really, we gotta go? And they were like, what's wrong? I was like, we gotta go. So safe to say, I did not speak a single word the rest of that day after that traumatizing experience. Went laid on my air mattress, dead asleep. Really traumatizing, but if you guys know what I mean, I think it's knocking a little bit, so I think I'm gonna head out, and you might wanna keep an eye out to make sure nothing floats your way either, so.
That was great. I'm gonna bring this back out here.
Don't we know it's our first time ever doing stand-up?
Yeah, give it up for Meg.
Give it up for Meg. Man, oh man, canoeing is always a doozy. I remember the first time I went canoeing. I've never been canoeing. Why would I do that? Canoeing seems like the Weenie Hood Juniors of boating. Like, it doesn't look that hard, but I guess it seems like something you have to straddle and cry for help in. What about you, Lauren? Have you ever been canoeing, camping?
You know, no, I've never been canoeing or camping. I actually have a family and a support system that, you know, actually loves me and put me through that, you know, cruelty.
Damn right they didn't. All right, our next act is Kevin Romano.
Oh my God, we got Ray Romano's son on the show? Oh my God, screw you, Cake Boss.
No, Lauren. That's not, you know that he's not his son.
You know, at least one thing we do know, Kevin is our only performer tonight not involved in STN. Yeah! Give it up for Kevin!
Knocks over stand. All right, hi folks. My name is Kevin Dominic Romano. I'm throwing the middle name in there. I think it sounds a little bit more exotic. Cause look, you say like Kevin Romano and you've never met him, you're like, I bet he's like a lacrosse player or something like that. But then you hear like Dominic and they're like, ooh, okay. So actually, yes, as you mentioned, I am not involved with STN. I was added to the bi-weekly group chat after my performance last at the mic the last session, and I have said 0 words in it. I have done 0 work for it, but I intend to next semester because I am struggling to fill 12 credits. So I will have plenty of time to write all sorts of desk jokes. Anyway, on to my set. So I am a music major. Please don't clap for my bad decisions. But we have 2 music majors in the back. Still don't clap for my bad decisions, please, Jody and Bree. But being a music major is really weird because like there are people at the school who are like doing nursing and engineering and are out saving lives, and the university is paying them the same amount as they're paying me to like play the French horn, and that's it. But I really don't know the university's stance on like music and what they appreciate with music. And I'll give you an example. So I recently just got done with a huge musical project. I wrote a 22-minute symphony for wind chamber group with percussion. It's a whole nerd-tastic fest, and I had to write the whole thing myself, recruit the musicians myself, run rehearsals myself, buy programs, posters, pay the musicians, and all that. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I deserve some money. So I decided to ask the university for funding. And how did they put that? I'll never forget what they said to me. I was like, hey, can I get some funding for this? And I'll never forget what they said. This is what they said. No. So I was out of luck on that front. So I set my sights elsewhere. I am in a class where I am learning like elementary teaching methods. So I had an assignment where I had to write a children's song. So I wrote a song about hats, as you do. The lyrics went like this. Take a look at my hat. What do you think about that? And that's it. So please don't clap for my bad decisions. My professor went up to me and was like, oh my God, Kevin, did you write this? Yeah. You could get money for this. For this? She was like, yeah. So I took it to the university and I was like, hey, I got this hat song. And I won't say the exact amount, but let's just say I bought a car with the amount of money they gave me to keep writing these new songs. And let me tell you, my second song was Take a Look at My Cat. What do you think about that? So I don't know what kind of like crackhead Long Island uncle is running our financial aid office, but there is a very, very strong chance that he loves hats. By the way, if you want to restore my faith in the arts and the university, you can come watch my 22-minute symphony that I got no money for on Sunday, April 30th at 5:30 p.m. in Loudest Recital Hall here on campus. That's April 30th, 4:30 at 5:30. 4:30 at 5:30 in Loudest Recital Hall. Anyway, back to the show. I made a girl cry the other day. She's a student of mine. I teach private French horn lessons so my students can all get bullied at school. We were in a lesson and we were talking about her tone quality, the beauty of the sound she makes on the French horn. And I made a comment to her along the lines of, okay, so on a scale of dying cat to angel choir, we're at about like iPhone ringtone right now. And in retrospect, that was not the greatest thing to say to a student because she started sobbing. Like it was bad. Like we could not end the lesson. And I was like, oh no, I've finally taken it too far. I'm gonna have to stop teaching. So we end the lesson. Her mom comes to pick her up, and I pull her mom aside, and I'm like, hey, something happened. Something really got to her. I made some comment about a dead cat and an iPhone ringtone. She goes, oh, our cat died. Worst teacher award goes to right here. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. When did this happen? And she goes, I'll never forget when this happened. It was the same day that Notre Dame Cathedral burned down. It was a terrible day for our family. And I was like, oh, you mean in 2019? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh. Well, then get over it! God, lady, get a grip. Jesus Christ. And she was like, and she was 18. She was 18? So, like, this was in the works for 7 years? Jesus Christ, get a grip. Now, I gotta say, it is pretty depressing that cat bookended its life with 2 world tragedies, because if she was 18 in 2019, let's just say that Notre Dame probably wasn't the only building she saw destroyed on live TV. Anywho, new story. Back to music major stuff. I am in the University Wind Ensemble. And by that, I mean the sit-down concert band nerd wind ensemble. And last week, no joke, this is a true story, last week we went on a tour, a recruitment tour. We went around to a bunch of high schools, played for them, did master classes to try to get people to come to Delaware. And that part was great. I love making meaningful connections with students. What I don't love is everything else on the tour. So let's start with our hotel. Our hotel is in Baltimore, so we're already off to a bad start. So our immediate surroundings of our hotel are a highway on-ramp with a seedy underpass, a gas station that only has the gas pumps. There's no building. It's just the gas pumps. I didn't know that existed. The Juvenile Detention Center, and a nightclub called, I'm not joking, Throb. My hotel room was the honeymoon suite, which would have been awesome because there was a jacuzzi in the bedroom. And again, it would have been awesome if the water drained and the water didn't look and smell like pee. So me and my roommates practically soft Dutch ovened ourselves in our room. Side note, by the way, one of my roommates was from Baltimore. Is anyone here from Baltimore? Good. My roommate was like, Kevin, it's pronounced Baltimore. And I was like, wow, you don't deserve happiness in life. Also, Baltimore puts the mid in. I messed up the one punchline I had on my set. Baltimore puts the mid in mid-Atlantic. And he just don't clap for my bad decision. And he just kind of, anyway, back to my pee-filled jacuzzi. So, me and my friends decide that we can't take it anymore. So we decide to venture out into the streets of Baltimore at 12:45 at night. And we decide, you know what, let's go see if we can find some place to eat. There is nowhere open except for a place called Crazy John's. Crazy John, I'm not making this up. Crazy John's is situated between two businesses, Club Pussycat and Lust. So, yes, Crazy John's is the late night eatery staple of the Baltimore red light district. And there I was in khaki shorts and a UD freshman orientation shirt, ordering a chicken cheesesteak using words like please and debit card and woodwind quintet. And there's a couple in front of me. My caucasity was overflowing. There was this couple in front of me. They started arguing with each other. Then they started yelling at each other. Then they started pushing each other. And then there was a man outside doing wheelies on a dirt bike, back and forth and back and forth, in front of Crazy John's. And the building was starting to fill with gas fumes, and I was starting to get lightheaded. And I was thinking to myself, is this how I die? Passing out on the floor of Crazy John's, getting absolutely body slammed by this washer-dryer combo of a marriage in front of me. And I was about to lose it. Then finally, my number was called. And I went up, and I was served my sandwich by a man who I can only assume was Crazy John. And he hands me my bag, and he goes, I hope you like onions. And I said, thank you, Crazy John. I do like onions. And he went, my man. Let me tell you, that was way too many onions on that sandwich. That was a ludicrous amount of onions. I don't know how many onions anyone other than Crazy John could put on that sandwich. But you know what? If there's one thing that I learned from this entire trip, it's that Baltimore and the Mid-Atlantic are anything but mid. And you just need to know where to find your onions. Anyway, folks, thank you so much.
Kevin always does a great job. He's like our ringer. Anyway, talk about putting the mid in mid-Atlantic. I had a friend who generally thought that the bi and bi-weekly was for those bisexuals.
No, it's just a weird coincidence.
I know, right? I don't know why she's so serious, right? What a fucking idiot.
I know.
Anyway, our next act we have for us doesn't know what's going to be happening during their act, and neither do we. Give it up for AJ Rubinetti!
All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Good. Okay. So, in elementary and middle school, when you were in English class and you were writing a 5-paragraph essay, and they were telling you how to structure it. So they said, put your strongest arguments at the beginning and the end of it. So that's why I'm going now, because there's still more people after me and there are people before me. Because I am not the strongest fucking argument. Okay. So I was supposed to, do a whole routine for this. Long story short, I turned 21 and it just went downhill from there. So I pulled out and then I was like, I can't do it. But then I got here and I was like, I've had a pretty interesting fucking week. I think I could come up with something on the spot. So I spent the last 45 minutes writing in my notes. So I know it's a bit unprofessional, but just bear with me. So here we go. It all started on April 17th, going into my 21st birthday on the 18th. So was, going to have my pregame at my friend Becca's house and just, started off the night doing, usual birthday festivities, including taking shooters that were 49% alcohol by volume, that were mystery flavored. The mystery flavor in question was kettle corn. So you can imagine how the rest of the night went from there. My friend brought me some Chick-fil-A nuggets. I excused myself from the game we were playing in to go kneel on a stool in the corner so I could use it as a table to eat my Chick-fil-A nuggets. I looked like I was in a bunker. So I had my nuggets. Then we're pretty drunk. We get to midnight. Yay, 21. I get handed a bottle of champagne. Thank you. I get handed a bottle of champagne. I'm chugging it. My friend's like, no, don't do all that. So I somehow get it back. I drop it immediately. No, that wasn't my fault. That wasn't my fault. It was my fault. But I was like, nope, did not drop that bottle of champagne. So yeah, just imagine me getting, stupid drunk. Then the inaugural Grottoes trip. So, gotta go to Grottoes when you turn 21 and, do your blowjob shot. So, I get to Grottoes. I walked in there and stood like a sim for a second because it literally just didn't feel there's a video of me walking in and everyone's like, yay, Meg and Nicole were there and they were like, yay, AJ. And I stood and I just looked at them because I didn't know what to do. It felt so weird walking into a bar just because I truly never thought the day would come. I know, not morbidly, I really never thought I'd turn 21. It's kind of still wild to me. So I just stood there and I realized, ID, here you go. Bouncer didn't wish me a happy birthday. Kind of rude of him. And then, but it's okay. We're still, on a high note. And then we go in, someone orders me a blowjob shot. I don't know who that was. Despite getting whipped cream all over my face, there was just so, I barely touched it. I don't know what I did. I think I just went straight for the shot, but still got so much whipped cream on my face. I looked like Santa Claus. What'd you say? You told me, no, okay, so I'm now learning. See, things come back in flashes. Things come back in flashes and scrolling through your camera roll. I just learned from my dear friend Meg that Meg told me to spread it on my face. So that's why I got all the whipped cream over me. See, you learn something new every day. Okay, so where do we go from here? Right. So then, I must have fucked up the blowjob shot because there's a video of me doing it and in the background you hear some girl call me a spitter. I was like, okay, bitch, do I know you? So that was really fun, but again, didn't realize that until the next morning, so I wasn't too upset about it. If I heard that in the moment, I might have threw hands with her, because I'm not a fucking spitter. Let's start there. Okay. Okay, this wasn't planned. None of this was planned. Everything's coming out of my mouth and it shouldn't be. Okay, next. Okay, so do the Grottoes thing. My dear friend Kate won me my first duck. It's a little blue Minecraft duck guy. My friend Jake ordered me a Long Island iced tea because, of course, that's what I needed after 49% alcohol shooters and champagne. Yeah, why not a Long Island iced tea? Then proceed to spill it all over him. Then we go home, and then we're parked outside this building, this wonderful, amazing building called Toss. And if you don't know what Toss is, it's basically our editing studio. So everything that's pre-recorded that you see on any of the shows, maybe you don't watch the shows, you have no idea what I'm fucking talking about, but we have shows here, believe it or not. We have a student television network, and that's where we edit. So we edit at Toss. Now, that's in the basement. There is a secret upstairs to Toss that I have never been in, but my friends who I was with do have access to that. So I was like, guys, I'm actually just going to read out the quote because I don't remember saying this. But I said, can you guys please take me upstairs to Toss? It's my dying wish, and what if I don't wake up tomorrow? Don't remember saying this. They did not take me up there, which is probably for the best. Instead, there's a really fun picture that I'll show you after the show of me outside on the ground, on the concrete, looking like I'm dead because I'm like this. So anyways, get home, throw it profusely. Somehow get my shirt inside out during that process. I don't remember taking it off, but then I had to put it back on, and then it was inside out, and then my roommate is helping me throw up, And she's like, your shirt's inside out. I was like, was it inside out the entire night? Like, no. Like, that was my concern. That was my main concern, was my shirt being inside out the entire night. It wasn't. Throw up, then I'm like, put a backpack on me, put a backpack on me. I fall asleep with the backpack on me, on my futon. I didn't even make it to my actual bed, just on my futon, door wide open, lights on. I was whining. I was saying, like, I'm gonna die, like, I don't wanna die, like, the usual. And then fall asleep around like 2:30 a.m., wake up at 7:45 a.m. to my roommate's alarm, because for some fucking reason she has class at 9:30 and sets an alarm at 7:45. Don't know what that's about, but it woke me up from a sound sleep. And it's a good thing too, because of that, I then receive a text from my mother, my dear mother, who I love so, so much. And she's like, I have a package like that's arriving to you at 8:15. Like, make sure you get it. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I just like ignored her text. I was gonna go back to bed. But then she calls me and I was like, okay, like, damn, I have a package. I'm like, okay, I'm going. Like, almost fully went down in my inside out shirt. Thank God I didn't. I changed into something a little more casual. Went downstairs. There's no package. I was literally in the midst of pulling out my phone to yell at this woman when all of a sudden I hear, AJ. I turn around. Sorry, I shouldn't turn around because you can't hear me. I turn around and my fucking mother is in the parking lot of my apartment complex at 8:15 in the morning. She hugs me, happy birthday. You reek of alcohol. Well, sorry. So I get inside, whatever. We're like trying to be quiet because my roommates are still sleeping, because my roommate who had a 9:30 class almost didn't make her 9:30 class because she hit snooze. But anyways, but she still made it. Okay, gotta go back to my notes for a second. Right. So she drove 2 hours. We live in North Jersey. Like, this isn't just like a casual 20-minute drive. Like 2 hours, maybe even 2.5 with that morning traffic, to surprise me. So very nice of her. She got like my friend to send me her schedule. So that's why she got there so early, because I did have a 9:30 class that I did not end up making it to for obvious reasons. So yeah, she gives me all my presents, including a personalized bag that says AJ's 21st hangover kit, a cake with a drunken Ken doll. Like, you know how girls get like drunken Barbie dolls? I got a Ken doll, and he was slumped over a fake toilet, and she goes, "That's you." Little did she know. And then last but not least, she pulls out a ceramic rubber duck, and I'm like, what's that? For weed, like, I don't smoke weed that often. Like, I don't know why she thinks I'm a fucking stoner. Like, one time I was staging, I was just sending her selfies, and she's like, you're so stoned right now. I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I smoke like maybe once every 3 months, and it's like only when I'm offered it by other people. So now if anyone wants like a ceramic like duck bowl to smoke out of, like, I'll like let me know, because I don't really need it, but she thinks I do. Okay, so we skip the 9:30 class. Me and my mom take a quick nap. I get Pedialyte from 7-Eleven, and then So then I decide I did have work that day at 11:30, and I felt like semi-well enough to go. So I get there, and I made sure to bring some microwave rice with me, because I wasn't feeling too great, but I knew I needed to eat something. Nothing better than rice to bind the stomach. Also, like, cut me off whenever, guys. So I'm at work. I'm like doing my thing. I'm like, oh, lunchtime. I put 1 spoonful of rice into my mouth. I run to the toilet and I just start dry heaving. Luckily, nothing came out, but yeah. So rice didn't work. I'm like to my boss, like, can I go home early? And he's like, yeah, like, you can go home early. So I go home early. I recuperate. I'm at home. I take a nap. I wake up to Lauren and my roommate screaming at me via text that Tom Kenny is going on and I need to get there because all the seats are coming. So for reference, Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, Ice King, a lot of different cartoon characters, was speaking at UD. And I wake up to them being like, you have to get here. All the seats are going to be filled up. So I fucking book it to Trabant. And I get there, literally half of the seats are empty. I was like, there's just no way, like, you made me fucking sprint for this. Whatever, we see Tom Kenny. I touched his sleeve, so that was a really big, yeah, thank you. I touched his sleeve. Then we had to leave early because me and Lauren had a concert to catch. Chloe Bailey, she's the sister of Halle Bailey, who is the new Little Mermaid. So yeah, that's Chloe Bailey. Now, her album kind of flopped, but we bought the tickets before that flopped for $48, and the resale tickets were going for $5. So that was a real loss, but we still had to show up and make do with the situation. So I go, we're dancing, this lady taps me on the shoulder. She goes, you look like a doll baby. I'm like, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the concert. And then we go home. I lost my Raising Cane's virginity that night. Okay, so thoughts. I think the cane sauce with the fries, good. Wasn't a fan of it with the chicken. I have to give it another shot. I want to try the sandwich. But those are my thoughts on Raising Cane's. Okay, so now my birthday's over. That was all one day, mind you. That was all one day. Okay, I gotta wrap it up. Oh shit, I really gotta wrap it up. Okay, I'll end it after this. So I wake up the next day, I'm showering, gotta wash your armpits. There's a fucking lump on my armpit. And I'm like, what? And it hurt. So then I was like, I need to go to urgent care. So I go to urgent care, and I'm like waiting there. And my class registration was starting at 12. The doctor comes in at 11:58. I'm like, stop it right there. I need to register for my classes. I know I have a cyst on my arm, but you just gotta give me a sec. Register for my classes. She examines it. It's not a lump. It's a cyst. I have to get it surgically removed on Tuesday at 1:45. If anyone wants to come. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna skip the next part of my story we're gonna go around to, so that was the rest of my day yesterday, dealing with my cyst diagnosis. And then today, what happened today? I probably got like a 60, 65 on my exam. I went to work. I was tasked with making a video to hype up. Okay, so I work for the Ag College. There's a conference. I don't know. I'm sorry. I promise I'll be done in like a minute. Okay. So there's a conference. There's an Ag conference that's happening in Nashville this year. They're like, okay, you need to make a video to show at the end of this conference for next year, because next year it's going to be in Wilmington, Delaware. So I had to make a hype video being like, you had the best time ever in Nashville. Now get ready for Wilmington, Delaware. So that was a really hard task. I did have to stay at work 2 extra hours to complete that task. And then I went to go, you might be wondering what this on my arm is. It was a snake. So I went to my friend is an RA. She had a field day at her dorm. They're coming to kick me off. And now I'm here. And that is how my day ended. And I hope you all enjoyed hearing about my 21st birthday experiences. And I'll let you know how the cyst goes. Thank you.
Guys, he actually wrote that today. That was really impressive.
Wow, that was. Yeah. Wow.
Well, writing 5 minutes before the show turns out to not be as bad as I thought it was going to be.
He had a lot to say. Anyway. Because that's all right. Because, he's in like every segment of Biweekly. He's got a lot to go through. So good thing he had a lot to say today.
There's nothing like seeing AJ on stage more than every other Tuesday at Biweekly. So getting him for one more day where he just has full reign is just something that I don't know what we did to deserve such a thing.
Really, it was a gift from the gods.
Speaking of Biweekly, give it up for another Biweekly EP, Faith Bartell.
Yay!
Hello, guys. I'm also going to be speaking off of my phone because I'm also unprofessional and unprepared. Me and AJ had the same exam today, so, all right, how you guys doing? Let's hear some noise. Come on. Thank you, guys. Is anybody celebrating the holiday today? Elle, come on, make some noise, Elle. Zero volume from Elle. No noise whatsoever, but it's okay. This isn't really a holiday where you make a lot of noise anyway. It's more like relax. I wanted to address the holiday because I might look my eyes are a little red, they're a little glossy. That is not because I'm celebrating. I am not cool. I have been awake for 36 hours studying for this exam that AJ and I had because I'm anxious and a nerd and not cool and not celebrating this holiday. Has anyone here stayed up all night ever? Yes. Yeah? How was that? Somebody shout out how that was for you guys. I'm going to get into maybe some hallucinations. Not the fun kind, though. I like to describe, staying up all night. It's kind of like if you took drugs and only had the bad side effects of them. It's a miserable experience. You're just, hazy and anxious. At about 2 a.m., you start thinking about everything bad that's ever happened to you and everything that's going on in your life, and it just really all comes crashing down on you. And then you get so tired that you can't even think of anything. Around 5, I just start gagging. I don't even know why. I just start gagging. I maybe think it's my soul trying to leave my body, being like, why are you doing this to me? Let me go. But that doesn't work, so it stuck with me. But yeah, your mind starts betraying you, like Meg said. It's almost like hallucinations, but they're not fun. It's nothing that you would like to be experiencing. Me and Lauren were in the Nest Lab. Give it up for Lauren, our host also, yeah. She's been doing a great job. She also had this exam because we're all the same person, basically. And So we were in the nest last night and we were studying, and there was this man who was just not giving me a great vibe. I mean, it's the nest at like 2, 3 in the morning, so there's always some sketchy characters, and then me and Lauren eating like pickles and kettle corn from the top. But there's always some sketchy characters. But this person had no technology. Like, they didn't have a laptop. They just had a book and a notepad. I don't know. It was throwing me off a little. What are you writing in that? What are you writing that can't be communicated to others and has to stay in your little journal? So immediately my mind went to, he's a detective or he's here to murder me. And I was picturing kind of, this is not what he looked like. He was dressed up a little bit more than usual. In my head, he was wearing a fedora and a trench coat. He did not look like this, but that is what he looked like in my mind. Kind of like someone from a murder mystery movie in like the 50s or something. So I'm thinking that he's gonna kill me, and not in like, in a very traditional way, like a stabbing or maybe even a poisoning from those pickles, who knows. But yeah, that's what it's like to stay up all night. And that was kind of just context for my state of mind right now. I also want to talk about airplanes. I know that's not really like a smooth transition, but my brain is not really functioning at full capacity right now. Maybe like 47% capacity. And a lot of that is like used to just like have me standing up right now. So I have like, what's that, like 53 to get through this thing about airplanes? Yeah. I don't know, but my brain's still working a little bit, I guess. So has anyone been on an airplane recently? Do we feel positively or negatively about this experience? Shout it out. Positive?
No, negative.
Negative? Mixed reviews on airplanes. I guess it's a controversial topic. I think airplanes are just like extremely uncomfortable sometimes. It requires you to be so vulnerable with people right off the bat. Your flight is never leaving at a good time. It's never like a casual like afternoon activity. Oh, I can't wait to just like go to the airport. It's always at an inconvenient time. And you get there and nobody's happy. Everyone's annoyed. And immediately they're like, you're not in your own home, but you're gonna take off your shoes and walk in your socks. And it's just uncomfortable, and you're looking at everyone's socks, and then and then they make you like stand. I don't know if you guys have been through like the new like security where you don't just walk through. They make you like spread out your legs and like starfish in front of like, I don't know, this swirling thing around you. But I like was getting up there and I'm like putting my legs apart and they're like further. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling even more vulnerable than I was with just my socks. So you have to stand there all starfish. All of these people are watching. The TSA people are looking at you like, we know you're uncomfortable and we don't care and you need to get the fuck out of here as quickly as you possibly can. And so that's just uncomfortable from the get-go. You're sweating trying to get your shoes back on. Everyone's rushing you to get your stuff off the conveyor belt. It's horrible. And it doesn't stop there because then you got to board the plane. And I kind of wish boarding the plane was like had the same rules that like there are in the bar where you could just bump into anyone you want and it's fine if you say I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry, but you're just banging into everyone and like being really inconvenient. That would be nice. But I guess the addition of luggage, people don't like to be like run over by suitcases or smacked in the face with backpacks. So you have to be like so careful walking through the aisles to make sure you don't hit anybody. And then if you do hit somebody, they're already all upset because everyone just saw their socks. So they're looking at you like you're the worst person to ever exist. And then you get to your seat, and if you have carry-on luggage, you got to put it in the overhead compartment. And I don't like to say that men are better at women than anything, but God, I wish I had a man to help me put that luggage above because I almost dropped it on my face. I am not very strong. I don't have upper body strength. And this was a work trip I was on for context, and my boss was like making fun of me for it afterwards, and I was like, dude, you could have helped me. But it was horrible. And then I'm sitting next to these two like men, and there's no room. There's just no room for me. I'm like squeezed up against the window. And you know like how people can always, another vulnerable aspect of being on airplanes, I feel like people could just see you through those little cracks in between the seat. They're just watching this like little sliver of your life. Oh, you're sleeping weird? They see you. You know, you're watching something on TV, they see it, and they're paying attention because I do the same thing with the people in front of me. I'm like, what are they up to? And then finally, I think probably the most awkward experience of being on an airplane is using the bathroom, especially if you're in a window seat. Because that whole experience, I mean, I've never been hunting, and I'm... bear with me here. I've never been hunting, and I'm vegetarian, so I don't think I ever will go hunting, but I think that's probably the closest I'll get, because you're just sitting there and you're stalking out the situation. So you're like, is anybody at these bathrooms right now? When can I pounce, you know? So you're looking back and forth, seeing maybe like the little men that they have with like the red light or the green light. You're looking to see if those go off. And then but when the bathrooms come available, you don't go right away. You kind of look for a pattern. Is there a lot of people going to the bathroom? Am I gonna have to stand in the aisle and wait? You know, you're paying attention. And then finally, when you discern this pattern, see everyone going in and out of the bathrooms, then you have to squeeze by the people in your row. You kind of like tiptoe out into the hall, into the aisle, you know? And yeah, then I guess you pounce. I don't really know. There's a whole other wild experience of having to squeeze yourself into that tiny bathroom and like do whatever you gotta do, but that's kind of where it ends on airplanes for me. The rest of my experience is lovely. You get some free movies. I mean, it's nice. But yeah, like as I was saying, kind of had like a haphazard day, like AJ. And I was texting my good friend Alex Henning. Some of you might know Alex. Give it up for Alex Henning. Some of you might know him. I was texting Alex, and I was like, Alex, I don't know what I'm gonna do or talk about. And I was like, I might talk about airplanes. And he was like, talk about Spirit Airlines. I'm like, Alex, I've never been on Spirit Airlines, and I'm not a liar, so I have integrity as a comic, so I won't talk about it. And he's like, compare your experience to people on first class's experience. And I'm like, Alex, I've never been on first class, and my imagination is a little wonky right now if I'm picturing this murderous detective in the nest. So I don't think I'm going to be able to capture a really accurate image of people in first class. So basically, you know, I went against all of his advice, and I just came up here. But yeah, I think it went pretty well, and thank you guys for listening to me, and I hope that you have, you know, I think the moral of the story, to be completely honest, is don't stay up all night, do drugs instead. Happy 420, guys.
You know, actually, this is off script, but for Faith's delusions of people, that was kind of light. We once went to Applebee's, and she thought our waiter, no joke, was an alien and had a whole backstory.
Time traveler.
Oh, sorry. Time traveler. But other than that, shout out to Alex Henning for hosting AJ and I's wedding.
Isn't AJ?
You know, I'm not going to go into any more context than that. I'm
All right.
really happy for us.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We'll be taking a quick commercial break, and then you guys will be lucky enough to see the sibling duo that will be singing the night away for us, Ava and Drew. So, yeah.
Cut the camera!
Cut the cameras! Cut the cameras! Dead ass!
#49 News starts right now.
I'm Emma Schneider here with your entertainment news.
I'm Laura Daly here with this week's weather update. We could see the clouds are moving in to the area as the night progresses.
I went out to find out what students really think.
Let's see what students at the University of Delaware have to say.
Here's what you can do to keep yourself safe during this holiday season.
Sadly, that is all we have for you tonight on 49 News.
It's back. We're back.
Penn Sport Night, your University of Delaware sports broadcasting show.
That team from Boston. Just because they got a leprechaun don't mean they're going to be lucky.
How has your experience been playing field hockey here? How magical was the beginning of the season for you guys?
Who are you rooting for this World Cup?
Probably the USA or Scotland.
Watch the play. I don't think I've seen it though. Yeah, you can't guard them. That's not your body.
It's her first time in 10 years, so we're like kind of at the same level.
Welcome to Real Talk.
What is the best Halloween candy?
You had to play a song every time you came into the room. What song would it be?
This movie's bonkers. Let's get right into that.
Yeah. Do you guys like pickles?
No. I love pickles. I'm so excited.
You see Kanye West as this icon, as this person, and he said some anti-Semitic things, so it's like, how do you deal with it?
There's nothing scarier than a student-run television show with an audience of 13.
Do you mean bi-weekly?
Don't they look stunning?
What?
I don't want to hold you back. Ow!
What now?
McKinley! Shut the hell up!
Let me just leave these babies here with you while I head on up to the saloon for the hour. I'm just gonna...
I've been your host, Lauren Kapp, and this is the Bi-Weekly Show.
Yeah!
Hi, I'm Ava, and this is Drew, and we're related.
That's right.
So we're singing It wasn't meant to be funny, but who knows? It might be funny. We don't know. We don't know. We hope you like it. This is Dear August.
For context, Dear August is a song by Noah Cyrus and PJ Harding, who I think is some Australian producer, but he also sings every once in a while. First time doing this, but we're going to give it a go, and we hope you enjoy. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Patient. They tell me that love is patient, but never wants to wait on my drunk heart.
So I'll take all of my wasted love
and turn it into wine, into wine, into wine in my cup. Oh, dear August, tell me that there's light at the end of all this starless night. Dear August, please don't let me fall. Faded, now the summer heat is fading. I spend every evening praying for the dawn. Save me, looking for someone to save me. Give me everything you gave me, but you're scorn. So I take all of my wasted love and turn it into wine, into wine, into wine in my cup. Oh, dear August, tell me that there's light at the end of all this starless night. Dear August, please don't let me fall.
Thank you. On my phone.
So we have one more song that we'd like to sing to you. If you want to tell them what it is.
Yeah. It's
Sorry, I wasn't close to the mic. This way? A little closer.
Well, we have some technical difficulties. Sorry to spring this on you guys. Your mic isn't working right now. So we're just gonna take it again in a minute.
Redo.
Yeah. Because we couldn't hear you.
Encore.
Encore.
Yeah, it'll be funny. This is just a skit, guys.
We will have another song.
You did so good you broke the mic.
So we're gonna sing it afterwards.
Jeez, sorry.
Beautiful.
Did I do? Yeah. So back in 6th grade, yeah.
Gosh. I had a job interview today. So I would have liked to think it went really well. But, oh man. Needless to say, huh?
Christmas.
I got this for Christmas, and I don't want to say what it says, but if anyone can read it, you can tell it to your friends. I accidentally wore this in front of my grandparents the other day.
To Easter, right?
Yeah, I wore it.
Yeah.
I wore it to Easter. Yeah.
What?
This hat.
I don't know.
No, I did.
Oh, okay. So we had Easter about over a week ago now. Shout out to Easter.
All right. Should we just redo the same thing, or do you want us to switch?
Yes, take it from the top, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Once again.
This is dear. Woo,
Okay, second time's a charm. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Same thing, and are we allowed to do the second song too? Okay.
Slowly, why the moon come so slowly? When I got no
They tell me that love is patient, but it never wants to wait on my drunk heart. So I take all of my wasted love and turn it into wine, in my cup. Oh, dear August, tell me that there's light at the end of all this starless night. Dear August, please don't let me fall, 'cause I don't know where this road is headed anymore. Faded, now the summer heat is fading. I spend every evening praying for the dawn. Save me, looking for someone to save me. Give me everything you gave me, but you're scorn. So I take all of my wasted love and turn it into wine, in my cup. Oh, dear August, tell me that there's light at the end of all this starless night. Dear August, please don't let me fall, 'cause I don't know where this road is headed anymore.
Sorry you had to hear that twice. Thank you. Okay, all
I
right.
just forgot where I put my pick, but we have an intro to this next song. We're gonna dedicate it to some people. We'd like to dedicate it to everybody in the audience. At the same time, we
Yes.
don't want to put words in your mouth. This song is also dedicated to our parents.
Yes, it's called How Sweet It Is.
How sweet it is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. 1 and 2 and. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs, but there you were.
With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I wanna stop. Thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I close my eyes at night, wondering where would I be without you in my life. Everything I did was such a bore. Everywhere I went, it seems I've been there before. You've had enough for me all of my days.
Love so sweet,
In so many ways I wanna stop. Thank you, baby. I just wanna stop. Thank you, baby.
yes I do.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Thank you. Thank you. One night only.
Great.
It
Okay,
cut
we're gonna
off
get
in
cut
a
off.
second,
We're gonna get
so-
cut off. What an amazing 2 songs by Ava and Drew. Really took my breath away.
I have family problems, so that was a lot for me. So thank you for doing that.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight because that's all the people that signed up.
If you liked what you saw and you want to get it on stage, and I mean you can do anything you could possibly want, please check out our website, stm49.com.
I made it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for watching.
I've been your host, Lauren Kapp.
And I've been Emmy Merkert. Bye.